Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here from simpleprogrammer.com. So I'm actually on a cruise ship. Cruising. I am on the way to Mexico. Here, decided to take a cruise before Christmas at the time of recording this, but I'm not going to be able to upload these videos for a while because I don't really have good internet, or really any internet on this cruise. You can pay for kind of a ridiculous amount, a ridiculously slow internet for a ridiculous amount of money. But I thought I would do a book review today on a book that I just finished, which is Daring Greatly by Brené Brown. Now, I'd already read her most popular book, or I don't know, I think this might be her most popular book, and I'd heard of Brené Brown from her TED Talks. A lot of people recommended her and her books. And this Daring Greatly book is actually kind of interesting. I have mixed thoughts on it, I have to tell you. I really like the idea that this book is based off of, which is that Teddy Roosevelt quote, "the man in the arena," one of my favorite quotes of all times. What is this book? So this book is about essentially vulnerability, right? So Brené Brown is a shame researcher, and she sort of went on this quest to figure out, to help people to live more wholehearted living, is what she calls it, in herself, even as she had discovered that even a lot of the stuff that she was researching with wholehearted living, which led her down the shame path, ended up, exposing a lot of flaws in her life. So I can definitely appreciate that perspective. And I feel like the book in general, like the idea of vulnerability, I did a video on vulnerability here, you can check out here, by the way. You should, I think that I agree with her on those ideas, right? And I think vulnerability actually shows strength as opposed to it being weakness, right? I still am pretty firmly adamant that men need to be strong. That's probably where Brené and I might diverge in paths, I would say. I don't know, she doesn't explicitly say it, but there's a section in the book talking about the kind of guilt that men, or not the guilt, the shaming that men have and around masculinity. And it almost seems like she was saying, well, women need to just kind of ease off and let men be vulnerable and let men be weak. And while I agree that some of that needs to happen, it's still, in my mind, a man's responsibility to be strong, and that's what society demands. Anyway, the book itself is really good. The vulnerability section, the idea of being vulnerable, of daring greatly, of taking chances, of really not caring what people think, and I'm willing to risk it, I think it is really important. That's something I struggled with for a while, is that I wasn't willing to put myself out there and risk things, and because of that, I didn't, feel the pain of defeat, or the pain, associated with rejection, but I also didn't get the benefit of the joy that you have of actually, like, just doing, of taking the chances, of taking the risk, of daring greatly, as she said in the book. So, with that said, I think that for a majority of people, this book will be very useful. For me, it wasn't that useful because I'd already, dug deep and encountered these things and had dealt with them. And like I said, I 90% agree with it. There were a few parts of the book, the end part of the book, talking about organizations and parenting and stuff, where the parenting stuff was okay, but there were some manifestos in there that were kind of cheesy, honestly. Like, I just gotta be honest with you about it, So I think the book overall is beneficial, but I feel like the hype around it was more, than what was necessary. So yeah, I don't know. I like the book. I would recommend it, but it wasn't quite what I expected it to be, and and I think it probably goes a little bit far in one regard, right? To some degree, I think that some of the writing in the book tends to say this is what's wrong with society and we need to fix it, as opposed to we need to deal with reality how it is and fix ourselves where we can. And not to say that isn't a message in the book, it is, definitely. But I feel like there would be more, more self-acceptance and responsibility, and like I said, just the idea that men need to be men, and and not all masculinity and femininity roles are toxic. Again, she doesn't go really into depth in that, but I suspect a little bit of that, which I think is not the answer there. But being vulnerable and maintaining strength at the same time and daring greatly are definitely admirable traits. So the book is really good. Recommend it. You can check it out here, Daring Greatly by Brené Brown. And if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you click that subscribe button below. Click the bell so you don't miss any videos. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.